What's going on, everybody on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And today is going to be somewhat of a longer video where we address, does Instagram want us to post lower quality images in order to get pushed more on the algorithm? Which is something that you've seen a lot of creators talk about. And we're addressing really Adam Mosseri, who's the leader of Instagram's marketing team, or Instagram as a whole, I believe, who's posted a 21 carousel to his page, kind of giving his thoughts about professional photography and creatives in general. Now, to kind of point this out, my background and why I feel like I can talk about this is that I've been a working professional for a while. I've been a photographer for about 10 years now. I've held many titles as like a newborn photographer. I now manage 2 portrait studios for a company here in Houston, and I have been a creative for a very long time. So I do think that me coming from the other side of the spectrum, somebody who's not already worked into the machine and being pushed by the machine, who's working to get noticed on social media for my talent and what I do in photography, I believe that that's very important to give my perspective. We want to go ahead and kind of just dive into what Adam talked about and why some of what he said could be seen as very decisive and could steer new creatives in the wrong direction. So let's go ahead and get into this. So it starts out here where it says, the first slide reads, the key risk Instagram faces is that as the world changes more quickly, the platform fails to keep up. Looking forward to 2026, one major shift, authenticity is becoming infinitely reproducible. I've talked with a lot of other creatives who are working creatives as well about their feelings about this, and you can't recreate authenticity. If it's authentic, then it's authentic. That's all there is to it. There's nothing that you can recreate to make it authentic. You can copy an authentic piece of work, but you can't recreate authenticity. So right off the start, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And so we're gonna go ahead, we're not gonna spend too much time on that and kind of go through this next one. Everything that made creators matter, the ability to be real, to connect, to have a voice that can be faked, is now accessible to anyone with the right tools. Deepfakes are getting better. AI generates photos and videos indistinguishable from captured media. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all that that's bullshit. That's complete and utter bullshit. AI has not gotten so well that we can't tell an AI video from a real video. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some AI engines that are good. They produce things that are good, but it's so clinical. Even in captured media, you can tell where the mistakes are if you look hard enough. You can tell where the imperfections are if you look hard enough. And so in AI, if it's too clinical, too clean, too over the top, you pretty much can go ahead and point out why that's AI and not actually captured media. And it's sad that he feels that way as somebody who runs a machine, a large machine, who pushes AI and AI tools and AI videos and things like that, to have this sudden feeling that you can't tell the difference between AI and what's real. And we're just not there yet. AI is a tool, just like any other tool in the creative space. I know a lot of people hate AI and they think AI is going to take away their job. And I always had this feeling, just like with spreading knowledge, that if you are proficient in what you do, you don't have to worry about sharing knowledge to others and worry about somebody coming to take your spot, because you're always looking to change. You're always looking to do the next thing, to be the next thing, to push yourself to be better. So you never have to worry about it. The people who usually worry about those type of things are people who are not getting better, who are not pushing themselves, who are complacent. They finally got on, they think that they have made it and they can just coast through life. And if you're that as an artist, you're already in a bad space anyway. So what he says and what AI does has nothing to do with you because you're going to phase your own self out. So let's go ahead and get into the next one where it says power has shifted from institutions to individuals because the internet made it so anyone with a compelling idea can find an audience. The cost of distributing information is zero. Now, again, as somebody who is a part of the machine and somebody who pushes things and decides what could get pushed by the algorithm and what to show, what not to show, yes, people are upset. As somebody, as a black man especially, we know how particularly hard it is to get into places like Hollywood, to get into, to be seen by these big camera brands. Even if you look now when they have embargo day, look how many black creators can actually keep the cameras that they're sending out, or even operate the camera by themselves without having a corporate representative there overwatching them. Versus how many white creators can hold the camera, have the camera for weeks, send it back if they want to, or even get told that they get to keep the camera, regardless if they ever make another video with it or not. So yes, more people are wanting to push their own selves to produce their own work without having to go through some type of pipeline, because the pipeline is very selective on who they push out, what they push out, and when they push it out. It's just like if I was to go and as a music artist, if I was to sign another music artist who's still currently producing music, I know, or I should know, that my music is not going to get pushed. I'm not going to get as much bookings. I'm not going to get as much radio play. All those things work because the main artist, the person that I'm signed under, is worried about themselves because they want to make sure that they are bringing in the most money for themselves. And that is generally the same thing with these institutions. They want to make sure they are bringing in the most money that they can bring in, the most retention, the most audience, and they're going to pick and choose who it is that they want to have being shown in their platforms representing them, and so on and so forth. Okay. All right, so this next one says individuals, not publishers or brands, establish that there's a significant market for content from people. Trust in institutions is at an all-time low. We've turned to self-capture content from creators we trust and admire, which again is the reason that we do this. We thought that as creators that we could take what we know and share it with those online, that we could teach and hopefully guide others through this art form, through this medium, in order to help make their journey a little bit easier. And so yes, I would assume that you would trust somebody that actually is doing the work versus an institution that is telling you, hey, you should do this and do this, and you'll get known and you'll be seen and your work will get published. That's all meant nothing for a long time. You know, trusting the institution, that's like trusting in Big Brother. It means absolutely jack squat. And like half of this, I'm just wondering, like, why even put this out here? What is the real purpose for this? Because again, you're a part of the machine. That's like Mei Lee from Avatar: The Last Airbender, when she's telling the team, there's no war in Ba Sing Se. There's only peace. There's no war in Ba Sing Se. And the whole time, the team knows that there is a war going on. And everybody else in Ba Sing Se, which is the machine, is woefully compliant. And that's what it seems like Mosseri is as well, as just woefully compliant and trying to turn a blind eye to the things that he has also led, along with people like Mark Zuckerberg, to be the standard and the norm for social media. Okay, we like to complain about AI slop, but there's a lot of amazing AI content. Even the quality AI content has a look though. Too slick, skin too smooth. That will change. We're going to see more realistic AI content. So again, with this slide, he almost nullifies the first couple things that he was saying about AI. If you're saying that people like to complain about it, but you think that it's going to get better, are you for it? Are you against it? Like, and that's why I'm kind of like when he posted this, I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I want to see what other people's thoughts were on this, because I saw it when he posted it, and I just had to, like, I'm gonna brace, I'm gonna wait, whatever. But it's just like, what are you saying? What does this mean? What are you trying to convey? Because honestly, I can't tell you if, by the way Instagram is acting, I can't tell you if they're for or against it, really. So we'll see. This next slide says authenticity is becoming a scarce resource, driving more demand for creator content, not less. The bar is shifting from can you create to can you make something that only you could create. Now again, I get it. Yes, people want to see some originality. They want to see some creativity in the things that you're creating. But quite literally, these skills can be self-taught. I was a self-taught photographer. I didn't go to a school. I have taken, of course, photography courses, workshops, things like that. But for a majority of it, I've been self-taught as a photographer. And the same thing goes with any other job in being a creator, editing, color grading. You don't technically need to go to a school. You can be self-taught and learn these skills to be able to make the things that you want to make. So this whole authenticity is becoming a scarce resource is bullcrap. There are a lot of creators on Instagram who are creating, going out, putting in their 10,000 hours, going out and working. The question is, are you seeing them because the algorithm is not caring about those things, or are you not seeing them because you yourself are not doing the work to go and find them? Food for thought. Okay, unless you are under 25, you probably think of Instagram as a feed of square photos, polished makeup, skin smoothing, and beautiful landscapes. That feed is dead. People stopped sharing personal moments to the feed years ago. And that's your fault. That's your fault. Come on, just like with Mark Zuckerberg, and Fro made a really good point about this, but I want to go deeper about this when he talks about the authenticity of posts and things that people were sharing when they were posting anti-Semitic things online. When we were sharing historical facts about why these things were happening, or even things that were true when it came to why people hate black people so much, Facebook was flagging them. This may not be true. Well, one, I'm black. I had a grandmother who lived to 103 last year. And so a lot of the history that I know about my people, I've either read about, I was told by word of mouth. As most people who have either, some type of culture, the elders always spreaded knowledge through word of mouth. So again, they made the machine to work the way they want it to work. And the reason we can't share personal photos or go back to how things were when we started Instagram is because you all changed it. You stopped prioritizing special personable moments to making people have to treat it like a job in order to get seen. We gotta look at the lighting. We gotta make sure the color grade is right, the audio is right, the angles are right, that it's interesting enough. That's all because of what you all have programmed into the algorithm. Now again, as a photographer, as a professional, am I gonna put out crap photos? No. Do I wanna put out photos that don't best represent me or what I think represents me and my art and what I'm trying to show my clients? No. So I'm still trying to figure out the real why behind this. And I still see people sharing beautiful landscapes and photos of fashion photography with skin smoothing. So I don't know what he's talking about, because again, those things are still getting tons of likes. Now, is it for everybody that they're getting seen? No, again, because they changed the algorithm and how it acts. This next one says, the primary way people share now is in DMs, blurry photos and shaky videos of daily experiences, shoe shots and unflattering candids. This raw aesthetic has bled into public content and across art forms. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. Whenever we do a blurry photo, slow shutter speed photos, that's on purpose. It should be on purpose if you know what you're doing and if you can create it in a way that shows your both technical prowess and artistic mind frame. But yeah, this whole shoe shots and unflattering candids thing has bled into the public content, not that I've seen. I've still seen people care about what they post. I've still seen very polished content for the most part. So I haven't seen it. Maybe I haven't been too deep into the well of Instagram. Who knows? Next one says, the camera companies are betting on the wrong aesthetic. They're competing to make everyone look like a pro photographer from 2015, but in a world where AI can generate flawless imagery, the professional look becomes the tell. Again, what are you talking about? These camera companies aren't betting on just anybody. Again, when I made that video about how they're selective about what skin color of people that they give cameras to and who can hold the cameras for how long on embargo days when they're making these videos for these companies and shucking and jiving and doing all that crazy stuff, they are professionals. They are people who have proven time and time again, even though I don't agree with everyone that they choose, if you look at their feed, they're proven time and time again that they can create flawless content and they can create great content. That's why camera companies are betting on them. Camera companies are only betting on people that they know can help them move units. Because overall as a business, that's the point. The point is to move units. There's nothing else. For, at the base level of it, it's nothing else but, hey, I have 2,500 units of this new camera I came out with. I got to get these out of here. They can't sit in the warehouse. Every day they're in the warehouse, I'm losing money. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do marketing wise to get these cameras from A to B, from me to the consumer, or from me to the store and then from store to consumer. So we wanna, we go B to B and then B to C. So we wanna make sure that we can be mindful, but again, and not to cut my own thought off, AI has its imperfections. We can tell what is AI and what's not. And if you're a photographer who's been doing this long enough, you've been going through the ringer, through the chops, you've been doing different types of niches, and you've been shooting and experimenting, you're gonna be able to pick up on a real shot versus an AI shot quite quickly, in all honesty. And again, AI is a tool. It's just a tool. It's just meant to be there to enhance what we're already doing. It can't replace the eye of a human. It can't replace the feeling of the story that's being captured in that moment. Because some of these moments, especially being a street photographer, you can't recreate. I don't care what you tell AI. There's nothing that you could tell AI. If I pull up a photo of mine, that you can tell AI to create it and it'll create the same photo with the same feel. It just won't. Okay, this next one says, flattering imagery is cheap to produce and boring to consume. People want content that feels real. Savvy creators are leaning into unproduced, unflattering images in a world where everything can be perfected and perfection becomes a signal. Again, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because, again, I'm going back to most professionals, most working professionals and people who want to start being able to charge for their services are not just going to put out whatever. They're not just going to throw some things together and then just put it out there and have people consume it. They're just not going to. It just doesn't happen. So I don't know. I'm wondering what feeds have he been looking at in order to really get this type of idea about photography. And especially as somebody who is not a photographer, he has a lot to say about photographers and what they should or what they are posting and his feelings about it, which is kind of crazy. I mean, everybody believes because of the advent of technology that they know what makes a good photograph, and they don't. So his next slide says, rawness isn't just aesthetic preference anymore. It's proof. It's defensive. A way of saying this is real because it's imperfect. Now, again, I'm going to go into saying to anybody, that most photographers can point out small details of imperfections in a lot of different photos. But again, that's not a key for us to just make a bad photo. Just to say, oh my God, look, oh, it's not AI. Look how shitty it is. Like, nobody's gonna do that because nobody would book us. Nobody would hire us. No brand would want to give us a brand deal or will allow us to try their cameras out if we're on our feed posting crappy photos, posting not good photos. And again, and this is where I disagree with Fro a little bit, where he says in his video about this, oh, just because you shoot it on film doesn't make it a good photo. Oh, you got an exposure, good job. Now, granted, getting exposure on film is not as easy as people make it seem. Now, it is once you know what you're doing. And yes, just because it's shot on film does not make it a great photo. But there are a lot of great film photos. Let's just be honest. I know a lot of great film photographers, and I myself have taken some great film shots. And so with practice, again, once you put in your 10,000 hours, you can produce great work no matter what you're using. But to just say, hey, I'm gonna throw up this unedited photo, this crappy photo, overly edited, bad color grade, just for the sake of saying that I want to be real and I want to be authentic. It's authentic because you took it with the actual camera and not because you generated it with AI. Which again, no matter what you tell AI, it's going to be too sleek, too clean, too clinical, and there's going to be something that's just it's not going to feel real. You can't feel the soul of the photo. So again, I don't know what he's talking about with this. His next slide says, relatively quickly, AI will create an aesthetic you like, including an imperfect one that presents as authentic. At that point, we'll need to shift our focus to who says something instead of what is being said. So pretty much what I feel like he's saying with this is saying, well, hey guys, AI is going to get so good one day that we got to just go back to the people that we trust, the people that already proven that they do this. And we know that they do this because we've seen it with video proof and like BTS and, other videos showing them do these things at this exact moment with time codes and all this stuff. And those are the only people we could trust. So what you're doing already is that you're alienating anybody who wants to get into this art form and get into this craft because they don't have a name, that you're going to tell them that at some point, if and when they get in, that they're going to be pretty much pushed to the wayside because they don't already have a name and they're not already established, which feeds into this elitism crap that's in photography and videography and cinematography and just the art form in general, where people have this elitist mindset that, oh, hey, man, wow, I've done this and I have this and I shoot with this and you should listen to me because I've been doing this for this, and you push aside people who are wanting to get in and build up a name by saying, we'll never listen to you because you don't already have it. That's just like going to a job and them saying, hey, I want you to have 5 years of experience and you have to have this degree in this field. And you just got out of college. How in the hell am I going to have 5 years of experience? I'm trying to pay for a loan. I owe the government an $80,000 loan because I went to school in this degree field. And you're telling me now I have to have this experience to prove that I know what I'm talking about, even though I've studied, and have something to prove it. And I have to also have 5 years of experience on top of that. What are we doing for an entry-level job? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And again, this is where we go back to what he's saying. It makes no sense. What are you saying? What are you talking about? You're all over the gaff with what between AI can do this, photographers should do this, content creators should do this. AI is going to be better than some of these content creators. What are you saying? And then he goes into his next slide. For most of my life, I could safely assume photographs or videos were largely accurate captures of moments that have happened. This is clearly no longer the case and is going to take us years to adapt. Again, AI is not that good. It's not that good. And this is the sad part about being in the US and just the education system in general, is that people forget we have printed mediums. If somebody was to want to fake an event with Muhammad Ali, right? To say, oh, Muhammad Ali was, you know, he was this activist and he was with the Black Panther Party, and he would walk around, with automatics with the other Black Panther Party members. We have printed media that says otherwise. We have printed media that you can go to your local libraries, you can go online, and you can fact check stuff. You can do your own research. So AI is not that good. People are still living that could back this stuff up. AI is not so good that it has created deepfakes so good that we can't tell. Like, oh my God, like how they tried to slip MJ into the Epstein files. Like, come on, man. We know that man was not there on that island, and y'all just making up stuff. You just making up stuff. Like, come on. It's so many people still around that remember these certain events to say that, oh, I see an image now, I can't trust it. I can't trust it. Are we that far gone? Do you believe that AI has been out that long enough to be able to trick us at this point? No. AI has not been around that long to be able to create images, create video that would have us like, wow. Oh, wow, I didn't even know that had happened. Oh man, where's this coming from? And without there being some written media to back it up. Because again, mind you, newspapers didn't get, outsourced. Get, pretty much dwindled down until like late 2000s. And so for the most part, we have written records of a lot of events that happened that could, back up whether the imagery that we're being shown is actually true or not true. So again, this sounds like somebody who doesn't do their research and really just uses AI summaries on Google to come up with proof for what they're trying to say, which again is a bunch of bullshit. Next slide says, we're going to move from assuming what we see is real by default to starting with skepticism, paying attention to who is sharing something and why. This will be uncomfortable. We're genetically predisposed to believing our eyes. I'm really gonna skip over this. I've kind of belabored this point, and I'm gonna say y'all the time. Platforms like Instagram will do good work identifying AI content, but they'll get worse at it over time as AI gets better. It would be more practical to fingerprint real media than fake media. Okay, again, as professionals, a lot of us, and it's not everybody, some still do, we don't watermark photos anymore, especially for posts. It just doesn't look great, and it's distracting to the overall image. Now, would it be cool if cameras came with the way to imprint metadata, or if you all could read the metadata from a photo to tell what was edited and what wasn't, how much of the photo is real on the backside? Great, I guess. It's not gonna stop me as somebody and other people who go out and actually do the work. It's not a big deal for us. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you're asking me to put on there, hey, I took this at this time and I'm also posting the BTS of me at that location at this time, that's too much. That's too much. And even as a street photographer, the main point is to be, in disguise. I'm supposed to be retracted from the scene. That's not to disturb any of the characters as they go about their days and their activities, so that I can capture real and authentic moments without drawing too much attention to myself. So I'm not gonna bring a bunch of extra gear just to prove to you that I went out and took it. I know I took it. The photo is proof that I took the photo. But yes, if you want to find some way on your back end to be able to pull metadata from a photo to tell if it's real, when it was taken, when it was taken on. Fine. If that'll make you feel better, cool. His next one says camera manufacturers will cryptographically sign images at capture, creating a chain of custody. Again, that's fine. That would be great. If they can find out a way to imprint timestamp on a photo and location, cool. That would be great. Labeling is only part of the solution. We need to surface much more context about the account sharing content so people can make informed decisions behind who is behind the content. Now, of course, there are a lot of bot accounts. Again, Instagram is the main problem with this, and so is Meta. They have allowed these bot accounts for so long, and they have yet to do anything about them. And so now you're complaining about it. It's kind of funny. It's like a catch-22 almost. You are complaining about the thing that you have allowed happen on your site. You got to do some inner housework first, I think, before coming on the platform to just vent about it. And so, yeah, I would more turn it on them and say, hey, you were part of the problem. Maybe you need to clean up your own house. His next slide says, in a world of infinite abundance and infinite doubt, the creators who can maintain trust and signal authenticity by being real, transparent, consistent will stand out. And yeah, I mean, I agree. Again, I don't understand his whole hang up with authenticity, because again, if you're doing it, I'm assuming or I hope that you're showing up authentic, that you're showing up as yourself on camera, that you have gone through the paces, and that you can work to consistency. Consistency is hard. Dedication is hard. Trust me, I know. I was supposed to have dropped a lot more content up to this point. We're already at the end of January almost, and we only have 2 videos up. But consistency is coming, and it's something that you have to work up to. Again, as long as you're showing up and being yourself, as you should, when you're on camera, then everything will go as it should go, and people will gravitate to you. The next slide says we need to build the best creative tools, label AI-generated content, and verify authentic content. Surface credibility signals about who's posting, continue to improve ranking for originality. Again, that feeds into the elitism. This person's been posting, they already have a following. We know because we've seen them on different platforms, have a following. We're going to give them the most traction and the most views. Elitism at its finest, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Instagram is going to have to evolve in a number of ways and fast. Now, mind you, Instagram at least for me, I'm going to speak for me, has declined as one of the apps that I use to show work or even to really post on, because of the way that they have done the algorithm, the changes that they made, and the things that they have prioritized has really made me want to step back. I do photography mostly. I'm getting more into video and cinematography and directing, but I mostly and mainly do photography. So when they stopped prioritizing photography accounts and things like that, I took a step back anyway. So the whole part of them having to evolve, they're behind the 8 ball. Discoverability on Instagram is trash. TikTok has the best discoverability, YouTube after that, and then so on and so forth. And so another thing that made that kind of fall off was that Instagram wasn't really willing to pay creators. To find out that, you have creators on things like Snapchat and X making like 6 figures because they post consistently and they post content and they keep it exciting. I mean, that right there should tell you, and I don't know if anybody really remembers that whole fiasco where Instagram said they were going to stop paying creators for posting content. Well, I mean, those type of moves, people don't forget those type of moves. And so you really only ever have yourself to blame, because you see that the fall off is happening with people who are using the app, with what they're posting, how often they're posting, how much time they spend on the app. You see that it's falling off, and now you're out here crying and just really running around a point to say, hey, we messed up. We can't go double back on our word. We kind of got to keep going because we're at a point now. But I realize we messed up, and that's our bad. That's really what this sounds like. Hey, we know we fucked up. We lost a huge amount of people who were posting consistently and keeping the app fresh, and we don't know how to come back from this. Is Instagram going away? Is it going to die? I wish, but it's not going to. So, unfortunately, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? At the end of the day. So, that was it. That was the last time. I know this kind of ran on kind of long. But let me know. Let me know how you all feel. If you all want to go and check out the side, his Instagram name is Mosseri. That's Mosseri. Adam Mosseri on Instagram. And yeah, go follow. Go look at it and tell me your thoughts down below. Do you believe in what they're saying? How do you feel about AI? Do you think that it's going to take your position as an artist? And will you start posting crap photos just to get pushed more? You know, let me know down below. As always, I'm gonna see you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.